What's up guys, Brax Wolf here, back with another video, and this time I wanted to share what my Meepo V3S ER looks like after 200 miles. Is it really all that super to withstand the conditions? Let's find out. So let's take a closer look and see what type of damage I've done to the board after 200 miles of riding. And that has been accumulated probably in a span of a month. This is my daily rider and I do take this thing everywhere at the moment. So let's see. Okay, let's start by turning on the remote and we are at 206 miles. Okay, a little bit over. Okay, so the first thing you notice is that I've already lost the jelly for the charger port. And that was probably caught in a curb somewhere, because as I go down, you can see that there's some scratches, probably from a curb. So over here, mostly what has taken the beating is the casing with some scratches, and I lost the jelly. If we go up to the front trucks over here, you can see it's a little bit scratched up, probably from that same curb, because I do go off curbs sometimes because I'm radical. Yeah, so with the front wheels, it just looks like I lost the first layer, no cracks, and it's been holding on after 200 miles, but I could see that, you know, by the 500 mark, I will have to change those front wheels if I want any type of traction. All right, let's move on down here to the middle of the board. It's just dirt, I believe, other than some tiny minor scratches, which is probably from the curb to one curb or the other. And then moving on to the speed controller. Again, there's some scratch marks at the top, but everything held pretty well. And again, Meepo is a little ugly, especially the older boards. You know, their newer boards are starting to look so stylish and sexy. But this design with the plain plastics, it does its job. It does protect the components. Okay, so moving on to the back, and this is where it gets fun now. Okay, so the hub motor still spins pretty freely. Seems like there's the same friction between the both of them. But then when we take a closer look at the wheels, essentially this board is a two-wheel drive, and the force is coming from the back. So the back wheels will obviously take the most beating. As you can see, there's already little hair cracks forming everywhere, and some pretty large ones. And something that I have focused on here, it's this huge piece of metal that I have no idea how it got there. I kind of felt it, but then once I noticed, I guess it was in too deep. So now I'm not sure what to do, if I should just go ahead and try to pull it out. But I don't know if that's almost like pulling a bullet out of a wound, if it's just gonna crack around it. So I think I'm just gonna leave it for now. Let's turn this board around real quick. Okay, so as you guys can see from the top, the grip tape got a little filthy, little chip up there. Going down here, again, just dirty from the shoes, and then chips all the way around, which I am not sure exactly how I got them, but it happens. But I live in a city, so I ride through a lot of bumps and cracks, and I believe that if someone is just using this board lightly to get to places in a nice paved environment, it will last way longer. Like, your wheels should not look like this after 200 miles if you're kind of babying your board. I must say that at this point, I'm not babying this board, I'm just having a blast, and I'm going wherever this board can take me. performance-wise, after 200 miles, it's still performing the same as it did on mile 1. And that's the one thing that I appreciate from Meepo. As they're building these budget boards, there's a lot of trust, I guess, that I put on them. And in some of these boards, for riding close to 30 miles per hour, if you wipe out, you will get hurt. And at times, I ride like a dumbass. And I would say that there's a lot of trust in these boards, hoping that something just won't malfunction on me and send me flying. So I believe, knock on wood, that this board will still keep going for a long time, as long as, you know, I change the hub motors and some components here and there. Yes, the battery is eventually gonna get a little bit weaker, but that's what happens to batteries. But wait, I don't wanna end the video yet. I wanted to show you guys really quick another design that does not withstand the conditions at all. And that is the Outdoor Master. I don't know if you guys remember, I reviewed this board, I don't know, a year ago. And the company actually gave me a hard time or said something that I only mentioned the bad things about this board. So this was supposed to be an elegant, sleek design, which I agree, it was. But it was very non-functional for the conditions of a rider. Maybe someone that rode this thing in their driveway, but I'm not sure. So over here, I had a lot of issues with the speed controller falling out because they had a tiny little screw, like you see the smaller one over here, in all 4 ports, and it was just attached to the wood, which is ridiculous. At least on the Meepo, you have the screw going all the way through the deck and really sandwiches things in there. This thing kept falling apart, so I had to bore the holes with a drill bit and then put some larger screws that went way deeper than their manufacturing screws. Trucks that are supposed to absorb impact, but they're so noisy and they don't do anything. Since the battery is in the deck, yeah, cool, bro, that's a really cool design, but something that I guess we're not ready for yet with the technology. But one, you couldn't bend, the board was very stiff. And then 2, if something ever happens to this battery, you're screwed, because you can only access it from the top. But look what's happening after, you know, this board has maybe under 100 miles. I haven't ridden this board a lot, but I don't know, from the heat, the battery started to pop out. And that's something that I mentioned on my review, that just from a little bit of riding, I was starting to see the outline of the battery. It's not functional at all. I don't know. I don't really understand. My old Meepo Mini, I am not sure how old that thing was, but that thing had over 2,000 miles. And as long as I changed the PU sleeves, which was a pain in the ass, between the speed controllers and the deck and the casing, everything else was good. But that is all, guys. I hope that I got a video out of this whole thing, because as I was trying to record, it has been a mess. I guess I'm just really not used to being in front of the camera anymore. And I used to be so good at just speaking without a script and without really cutting. So I hope that this video doesn't have a lot of cuts, but I believe that it might. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Peace out.